I'm Lexus Bale. If you're watching me on Facebook, yeah, share the link so that the world can also see this interview that we're about to have. This is Personality Profile. I look forward to Thursday evenings. You have no idea. I get to sit back, relax, just move away from my console and come into my lounge here in the studio and interact with amazing people who are doing great things. Their stories are stories we can all learn from. Yes, and this evening I have one such amazing brother in the studio. You'd love to hear him. Like I said, we're live on Facebook, so if you're listening on radio and you want to check out the video, you can go onto Facebook, Joy 99.7 FM, copy the link and share it in your WhatsApp groups and share it on your Facebook page so that the world can also tune in and check out our conversation. I'll tell you about the brother who's in the seat today. Yes. In fact, when I put out the artwork for our conversation this evening, I shared it on my Instagram page a little earlier. Then one of my followers by name Tay Engman, he came up and says, Lexus, tell him he should wear his durag when he's coming into the studio. But that'll be reminiscent of his past life. Yes. In his current life, he's a well-respected professional with an extensive experience across business, finance, politics, communications, technology, diplomacy. Yeah, he has worked as senior Africa strategist and advisor to data and technology giants SEO Group and Cambridge Analytica, Africa Regional Director for the Royal Commonwealth Society office across 19 African countries. He's also held senior roles with Her Majesty's Office for Civil Society in the United Kingdom and currently chairs the Interstandard Group, a boutique private equity organization in the United Kingdom, and Adinkra Bootmakers as well, a manufacturer of military bootwear. He's a member of the Institute of Directors UK. He served as the Commonwealth Chief of Mission at the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council. It's a Commonwealth body created by 54 heads of state to promote trade, enterprise, and investment across 54 Commonwealth countries and 2.4 billion citizens. While in his role, he facilitated foreign direct investment into Ghana, whilst providing a platform for Ghanaian private sector organizations to access foreign markets and trade. You'll know him on your screens as Junior from Home Sweet Home, who failed most of his exams and was probably the headache of the family and the whole French Ghana. Mr. John Apea is my guest on Personality Profile. Welcome, Junior.
Thank you, Lexus. That bit about failing exams was quite painful because it mirrored a bit of real life in my younger days. Yes.
Did it?
Yes.
Whoa!
Yeah, exactly.
No, we got to talk about it. I'm curious. Wow. Who would think? I mean, look at you now.
Yeah. Well, I think education is never a race.
Yeah.
You get to realize that some things are a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, I think, as you said, we'll talk about it. But a lot of the time, I think in Africa especially, we teach children sometimes the wrong way.
Okay.
So you're not able to really bring out the best in particular children. You think, this child is not bright, but maybe the child is not being taught the right way.
Or so probably not in the fields that they want to be.
Exactly. A lot of the time we force kids into different spaces.
Yeah.
My dad, I'll tell you, my older brother Emmanuel, who was the creator of Home Sweet Home and of other shows like Taxi Driver, Hotel St. James, really brilliant filmmaker. Him and myself, we just used to win art prizes in school. Yeah. Whilst my sisters all used to win maths and science, and no one ever used to appreciate when you win art prizes or prizes for English. Really? The claps are not as good,
as loud as the science.
Exactly. So I remember when I got my master's, and my master's was an MSc. So I called my dad and said, "I'm a master of science. I'm a master." He was in absolute shock that the one who seemed least like a scientist,
has a master of science.
Had a master of science.
Boy,
I've been rubbing it in since.
Really good to see you, brother. How are you? You look so well.
Well, I'm feeling good. But as I told you, I think I want to join you gymming and all that kind of stuff.
You should join me play tennis. Now I'm a crusader for tennis now.
Yeah.
I play a lot of tennis. It's really great exercise. I should drag you along.
I'll do that.
One of these days.
I prefer the computer games, but but that doesn't make me lose any weight.
We're supposed to exercise our bodies, not our fingers, not just our fingers. Okay, brother?
Yeah. I'm a tech guy now. So there you go.
Anyway, I'm so happy and congratulations on your new role.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very exciting.
Is it?
It's very exciting, yeah, because
Would
it's a space that Lexis. I think the reason why I actually took the role is because of the potential for the digital economy. As I always say, is the only area that Africa has been with the curve or can be ahead of the curve. You know, with all the other industrial revolutions, we've always been behind. You know, but this one, the Internet of Things, we're able to compete. You know, what we do here with mobile money, for instance, is not being able to be replicated in other parts of the world.
The world,
know? So
yes.
we're ahead of the curve. We have smart technology experts here. We have inventions that are taking place here. We have a lot of startups in the digital space, from Ghana to Nigeria to Rwanda to Kenya to Zambia. You know, we're breaking ground. And that's why I'm really excited to be in this space.
You know, I've had conversations with you when you were with the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council. We did a few things together. You were even on my show a couple of times and all. And it looked really at the time like the right fit, you know. But listening to you speak now, you sound a little more excited about this one. So was this job a pull or a push?
Well, you know, Lexis, one thing I find interesting, like talking about my educational experience, is that you can do all things. I've always been a believer that we are using just about 1 or 2% of our brain, right, to start off with. And so we can do so many different things once we put our mind to it. So I think when the last time I met you and we came here, I was working with the Royal Commonwealth Society, which works very much with the royal household of the Queen and the Commonwealth. But after that, I transitioned to more of a business role, which is the Enterprise and Investment Council, which is the Commonwealth body set up by heads of government to promote trade and investment and enterprise across 54 countries, 2.4 billion citizens. And within the Commonwealth enterprise, within the Commonwealth itself, 54 countries, you have trade surpluses of around $10 trillion. So from doing that to what I'm doing now is still within that business ecosystem. And I haven't completely left the Commonwealth gig. Because that was part of when I joined the Commonwealth. I told them that this that I'm doing, that has been set up by heads of government, is something that I want to use to help in the development of Ghana and of Africa. But if something interesting comes up, because I'm an entrepreneur at heart, I'm a business person, I'm doing a lot of business, I think business really can drive the economic development of Africa, the private sector. So it was part of my contract that if I find something I really find interesting, I will just bring down the number of hours I do with the Commonwealth. And because I'm a chief of mission, which is like an ambassadorial rank. So the real hard work is actually not done by me. It's done by the country directors. But I oversee a lot of the activities that happen. So with eTranzact now, I'm probably doing it at like 85%, and I'm doing the Commonwealth stuff around 15%.
So you've not totally let it go, basically?
No, because I think for me, I've always had that side of both international relations and business. And I think those two can really complement each other and work well together to bring economic development.
Absolutely. Let's talk about eTranzact. It's a great space to be in, isn't it? You
amazing.
wear the cap so proudly, and I'm like, that's
that's
the number one ambassador of eTranzact today. Yeah, tell us about the role.
Well, eTranzact, for me, what I loved the most about eTranzact is it's an organically African company. You know, and I've always said that, you know, until we start to create our own interventions or our things that work for us. I always say that the Red Indians always won battles when they were fighting the Americans on their land, because although they didn't have guns, they knew the terrain. You know, we know the terrain. We know our people. We know the problems we have, and we have the solutions. And for me, digitalization is about adding value by providing a solution. And that's what eTranzact has done. It started off in Nigeria, created by Dr. Valentine Obi, absolute genius, who saw the whole design of eTranzact in his head. No one had been doing that. In 2003, Lexis, 2003, about 19 years ago,
Yeah.
is when he designed the whole concept. And in Nigeria, it's publicly listed
Okay.
on the stock exchange, and now it's across different African countries. So eTranzact in Ghana is a pioneer. It's a pioneer of digital transactions, and I think it's absolutely exciting because the best is yet to come.
And now you get to lead a team.
I get
Charlie,
to lead-
congrats.
I get to lead a very dynamic team,
Yeah.
made up of people like George Babafemi, who's the executive director of eTranzact, who's been there from its inception, and he's also the CTO. So he has that mind. We
Yeah.
have dynamic people. You saw some of my team that I
Yeah.
came in with. You know,
Yeah.
you have young, dynamic, homegrown,
Yes.
hungry people who believe they can do it all.
Yes.
And I believe they can.
Listen, we'll talk more about work. I like how you switched into work mode. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
It's like you take everything seriously, whether it's
Yeah.
acting or business or whatever it
Yeah.
is. But
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people also miss you on the screens. And I'm sure you do miss those times, don't you?
Part of it, I think I miss more the people.
The people.
Yeah, I think it was more the relationships and the networks. You know,
Okay.
you had people like Kojo Datsun. Who,
Oh, the late
the late Kojo Datsun, who
May
you
so
know
rest in
when
peace.
after we used to finish shooting, we go clubbing together. So
Is it?
exactly. So on Fridays, because Home Sweet Home used to show on Fridays. On Fridays after we finish shooting and the show shows about I think 8 p.m. By 9 o'clock, we are at the clubs.
Whoa.
And we are dancing on the stage. And people just be like, isn't that the dad and
Yeah.
his son? What are they doing dancing on the stage till 2 or 3 a.m., you know? So those type of relationships, you know,
Yeah.
people like Kofi Buckner, the late Kofi Buckner,
Yes.
I worked with, you know, like absolutely amazing
Rama
talent.
Brew.
Rama Brew, like,
Julia.
I mean, Julia Apea was the producer on it. You know, absolutely amazing talent that I don't think have been recognized enough, you know, within this ecosystem that way.
So what I realized is that a lot of people are stuck with an image of you from your days on the screen. Do you still find that people get surprised when you pull up in a three-piece suit to do a presentation on transactions, real-time payment
Seriously, I mean,
systems, and all of that?
Seriously, the first time actually, when I had to speak to the team at eTranzact,
Yeah.
and they introduced me, I could hear a lot of memory. I don't know, you know. So that time we had the face mask on because it was COVID times.
Yeah.
You know, so when I was introduced to them, so afterwards then they were saying, "Oh, can you take off your mask?" So when I had to go, so I don't know, but why you can see you know. Yeah, so it was people. Like I was telling my team before I came here, people expect you to have been the same age for the past 20 years. Although they don't remember that. When I was watching this guy, I was like 8.
Yes.
And now I'm 28, you know. But you expect me to still be 19 or 20, you know. So the switch up is very difficult. I remember when I first came to Ghana with working with the Royal Como Society, and I was dealing with parliamentarians, etc. You know, a lot of them had seen me from my junior days,
from
you
those
know,
days, yeah.
and they were like, what you're doing acting, you know. I remember one of them said, "I know your concerts, no," you know, you know. So you had to oversell yourself. You're like, "Oh, I've worked for government. I've worked for the Queen. I'm an Oxford graduate. I'm a Cambridge graduate. Minimadia kakra." You know, like because you always had to be. I always had to, you know, let people know that okay, that is one side.
Yeah.
You know, and I can do so many different things. And that is one thing that I really want to use to empower young people. You know, that you don't have to stick to only one thing. You can do so many different things. You know, as you said, I've been in business. I've traded oil. I've traded gold. You know, I've worked in construction, not at the top. I've worked in construction at the bottom. You see, I've worked in media. I've acted. I've written. I've produced. I've directed, I've owned media companies, I've worked in technology companies like Cambridge Analytica, the good side of Cambridge Analytica, which I'm sure is something that'll come once I realized I was coming on the show with Lexis Brass. Like Lexis will decode something out of it, so I'm ready for you when you come for that one, you know. But I've worked for huge multinational companies in charge of huge budgets. In charge of multiple countries, you know.
This scenario, this scenario is a little worrying, isn't it?
Which scenario?
The scenario you just painted about, you know, approach certain parliamentarians with the Commonwealth setup and the investment conversations, and you're like, I knew we know your concept, isn't it telling?
It was. I think it's getting a bit better now.
I'm not saying even for you
Yes.
personally.
As a whole,
For
it
the
is.
arts
It is. It is.
itself.
It is because it's not a space that is as respected. And even one of the reasons I was excited to come on your show is for the young people watching to be able to let people know the trajectory of things,
Yeah.
because you can do so many different things. A lot of time when you're in the art space, it's assumed you can't do anything else. And I think my story is a story of the fact that you can be an actor, you can be a singer. It doesn't mean you're not as smart.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't do well in school or you can't do particular jobs. Like I said, in as much as I've done media, acting, and the arts, I have a master's from Oxford University, which is a respected university. I have postgraduate qualifications from Cambridge University, which is a respected university. So if my parents were thinking that, oh, John going into the arts, it means you're not academic enough, or you can't. No, I can study for whatever I want to study. I can get a PhD if I want to get a PhD, but the love of what I want to do is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it has to be respected, because the creative economy within most countries outside of Africa is one of the most respected.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest contributors to GDP. But here we don't recognize that even what I do creatively is short-circuited to what I'm doing in technology.
Technology. Yeah.
Technology is about art.
Yeah.
You look at people like Gates and Jobs. The iPhone that we're looking at, technologically is very advanced. But the art behind it is a confluence of art and science. And you have the greatest inventors from Leonardo da Vinci, to Van Gogh, to Newton. They all had a side that had to do with art.
You're really championing the school of thought that's important, and
Yeah.
that hits home, of course,
Yeah.
for some of us as well.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you actually mentioned this. Now, one of the things that being in the public did for you was to give you a certain sort of social equity.
Yeah.
Are these assets that you would say have helped your current roles?
I think one thing that it has done, not in terms of the fame or giving you a pulpit to be able to push, because a lot of people, and my PR team were not too happy about it. A lot of people were like, John, a lot of people don't seem to know the trajectory of stuff that you've done. They remember you from TV, and then now they're seeing you eTranzact CEO.
There's a gap.
There's a gap, and I was telling her that it's not everything or all jobs that require a certain level of publicity. There's some things, and I think after being at such a high level in the media space where I was seen, I honestly wanted to be in the background a little bit.
Yeah.
With my head down, changing lives in ways that I want to change lives. So whatever I've done with my Commonwealth portfolio, because I've held very big posts within that space.
Yeah.
But it was not something that I sought to publicize. I came on Joy many times.
Yes.
When we had the ambassadors, we had Kojo Yankson, Jocelyn Dumas, and previously we had Kidi, Jackie Apea. They were all Commonwealth ambassadors that I worked with to publicize a lot of the things that we were doing. But I was always in the background. Even in pictures, I didn't want to be very much in pictures, So I don't think it's contributed much to what I'm doing now in the role in the public space. But one thing it has done is that it equips you to work in different terrains. And
Okay.
it equips you to think outside the box.
Okay.
For me, that's what that space does. And, I used to write most of the scripts for Home Sweet Home. And because I was doing multiple jobs on the set, I didn't used to study the script. After it's been written, I don't look at it until we're about to shoot. So I started cramming a lot. And I realized that my mental aptitude and the remembering things went to such a high level because I had to be memorizing scripts and delivering the lines. So Lexis, when I did my postgrad, In the final exams, I was quoting sections of books and giving them the page numbers, such that after the exams, they actually called me in to see if I'd been cheating in the exams. They actually had to use CCTV camera to recognize, because I was, you give a reference,
Yes.
and you put marks,
Yeah.
19 whatever, or okay,
APA reference. And all of those
exactly,
things,
yeah. So you put the name of the author and the
Yeah.
year. That is enough normally when you're referencing in exams. Yeah, if you're doing a thesis or an essay, then you put
Page
colon
numbers and all of
17 to
those,
20.
yeah.
But when it's an exam, just give me the year the author published it, But this one, I was giving them a quote of like 3-4 lines. I'll give them the name of the author, I'll give them the year, I'll give them the page numbers. And this was
Bruh.
across like 20 pages that I was cramming. So even after the exam, I was like, this came from Home Sweet Home.
Yeah.
Home Sweet Home actually trained me to think outside the box,
Yeah.
And now everything I do as well, I realize I'm much more organized, because my brother Emmanuel really trained me in terms of being able to put together schedules,
Okay.
filming schedules. So I know I'm shooting in Abelinkbe, I'm shooting in Dansuma, I'm shooting in Tema. I have to see where there's traffic on that day. I have to see, okay, where is there traffic? What day is it? If it's a Monday or it's a Friday, there'll be more traffic.
Yeah.
So maybe if it's a Monday and Friday you're shooting, start from Ibri. From Ibri, then you start coming against traffic,
Yeah.
So it makes you quite organized in a way that you don't realize the skills that you're learning on the job.
Yeah.
But you're being able to put everything in a place, and it even helps you to write essays. It helps you to innovate, to create systems, to see how do I layer this? What do I put as a first phase, second phase, So that is what it's given me. It gave me a lot of, to be organized.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, we need to fill the gaps in the story, okay?
Yeah.
But to be able to do that, we have to start from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found curious was your
Yeah.
name, Apea,
Yeah.
because I'm sure when everybody hears Apea, they spell it Appiah.
Yeah.
But yours is Apea.
APEA. And that's actually the real spelling.
That's a real spell.
That's actually the real,
Apea. The
Apea.
original one.
the original one. It's the indigenous spelling. The APPIAH
Uh-huh.
was the anglicized one
Oh.
that was made so that it would be easier.
So where's the Apea from? Your
So the Apea, so I'm a Guan, from Enum.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Apea was actually a name given to my father, which is the name of one of his uncles. My father's real name is Edu Bitherman.
Bitherman.
Bitherman. It has some German, some German somethings. Yeah. So Edu Bitherman. So a lot of my relatives on my father's side have if you see Edu Bitherman on Facebook or whatever, most of them are my relatives. But my
Okay.
dad was given his uncle's name, which is Apea. APEA.
Okay.
Yes.
And where did you grow up? Where were you born?
So I was born in London. So my story with the Commonwealth is very convoluted because my dad worked here as an inspector general for schools. And he was sent to the Commonwealth Secretariat to do a job. And after he did that job and he came back to Ghana, the Commonwealth Secretariat wrote to the government of Ghana and said, that chap, can we have him back? Because he's such a good worker. So my father left Ghana and went to the UK to work with the Commonwealth Secretariat.
Interesting.
So I'm a Commonwealth baby. They paid a lot of
Yeah.
my school fees growing up.
I
That's
can
why
tell.
I've been giving back. So I was born in London,
Yeah.
whilst my dad was stationed with the Commonwealth office. And then I came back to Ghana probably when I think I was about 3 or 4 years old. So I know the time because I had a Rollins chain at some point. Which, so I came back about 3 or 4 and stayed in Ghana all the way till I think 1990 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did.
What brought you back?
So my mom did not like living in the UK. Yeah,
Why?
my mom, maybe the cold. I suppose maybe the cold, and she was missing her family. Her mom was here. And the life in Ghana.
Yeah.
Lexis, why aren't you not living in England or America? I'm sure if CNN wants you, still be thinking twice
You know
about
what I
it.
mean,
Yeah, the weather here and just being able to have the help around with friends or
Yeah.
relatives and stuff, and my dad maybe was saving some pounds as well
Yeah.
by having his family here, and he was having that peace of mind to be able to to work hard. Yeah. So my father stayed on in the UK. My mom came here with us. We're five in all.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the time we came, it was four of us. My younger sister Grace hadn't been born yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So four of us came here, and pretty much stayed. My older brother Emmanuel, the filmmaker, he went back I think around 82, and stayed with my dad throughout, and then he came back to Achimota School to I think do Form 2 and finished. Yeah.
So where did you school?
So I schooled in a Achimota Preparatory School, Achimota Prep, which is by the police station. And then I went to an interesting thing. And actually, on Monday, I went back to a place that normally hasn't come up in my trajectory. It's a school called Anumle.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually took pictures with the head teacher. And I was saying that I'm actually I was going to put it on LinkedIn because it was a very touching experience.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I was in Achimota Prep, and I think we're about to start the JHS system or something of that sort. So a lot of us, our parents, decided to take us to the local primary schools where that was not being started. I forget what it was, but they had wanted us to be part of the system that goes straight into secondary schools, wherever we wanted to go. So it might have been accidental, but that for me was the reason why I'm here, with things I do with the Commonwealth, with things I've done to help society, because I saw a different life there. I was a co-student to people who I usually was not interacting with.
Explain that.
Well, it was a different social economic group.
Lower?
Yes, to what I was used.
Where was it?
It's behind Achimota School. Okay. So on Monday, for instance, when I tried to go there, it took me probably about 45 minutes to an hour to be able to get there, because a lot of the gates going there had been locked up.
Okay.
So I had to go around the park and find my way there. It was one of the most amazing experiences, in terms of being able to make different friends. I just saw a different part of life. So I went there on Monday. On Monday is when my role was publicized with eTranzact, and I thought, let me follow the trail to all the places that have made me who I am. So Achimota Prep, I realized has moved from where it was. So I went to Achimota Prep, it moved from where it was. So then I went to Anungule. I went to see the head teacher, saw the school, and just asked them that, how can I be of service? It's been something I've been wanting to do for many years. How can I be of service? How can I help the institution, to bring out students, because my trajectory has been quite unusual.
Yeah.
It's been quite unusual. So so I did Achimota Prep, I did Anumule, then I did Presec.
Legon. Or Dadie. The experience at Anumule, you say, did it make you realize that you are probably a little bit more privileged?
Oh, definitely. But I'd always had a bit of that sense. I'd always had, my parents are some of the most unique people I've ever met. My father, if you meet my father is the most honest man I've ever met. And I don't say it lightly. My mom is one of the kindest, most simplest people you ever meet. She can put my mom has been to Buckingham Palace to meet the Queen when my father worked for the Commonwealth. But my mom's real place she enjoys is Mokola. As I'm speaking, she's probably coming from Mokola. What did she go and do? I'm not sure, But my mom likes to leave her driver at home to get on a trotro, to go to Mokola, to go and shop or give stuff out and come back home, So from a young age, I already had that kind of, how do you call it? It was a bit of a paradox, where that by the grace of God, your parents have studied hard. My father came from Enum Secondary School barefooted to Achimota School on scholarship. From Achimota School, went to Legon on scholarship. with 2 shirts and 2 trousers, and they're all clean. You know, the ones that you just wash and they dry in 5 minutes. That's my father. I'm not joking like this. Yeah, they'll tell you, you know. So by dint of hard work, from Legon, you know, came to teach at Achimota School. From Achimota School, got a scholarship to Australia to do. After Legon, he went to Australia to do his masters. All this on scholarship, you know. So he worked very hard to get to where he was, but he never forgot where he had come from. So we've been the type of kids that some kids will have said you had a silver spoon.
Yeah.
You know, we had a silver spoon in our mouth to an extent, but my dad kept that silver spoon in his pocket and put a wooden spoon in our mouth most of the time. They wanted us to know the real what real hard work is. You know, you just don't get money like that. You get pocket money, you use it wisely, and you show how you spent it.
Look, lots of people are telling tales of Anumle.
Really?
You have no idea.
I see.
If you're listening and you want to send a WhatsApp message, you can send it to 055-111-11997. Chris is just telling me Anumle, Achimota Preparatory and Achimota Basic had a certain rivalry when it came to sports, debates, and any kind of inter-school competition. He says, I was in Achimota Basic, and man, going to Anumle for any kind of activity was a different experience every single time. Mauli, my brother at NIC, says that I attended Anumle. I wonder what year he was there. Okay, so a lot of your mates and
are coming up.
You know,
it would be nice to know with these guys if there's some Anumle Old Students Association, because that's one thing.
They need to put you in the WhatsApp group.
You guys need to add me in the WhatsApp group.
Absolutely. Now, you attended Presec, of course, the best secondary school in Ghana.
Oh, are you a Presec?
I'm not that year.
That's the.
There you go.
I realize the bias, but that bias is allowed because it's true.
Yes, the best school in Ghana.
Yeah.
Was that where you had your episodes of failure?
No.
Achimota.
No. Where did I think in secondary school in England. So from Presec.
Yeah.
I went to secondary school in England. And probably in England is where, you know, going from one system to another system. I mean, I wasn't the smartest kid or seen as the smartest kid in class, you know, whether I was in Achimota Prep or whatever. Don't let that fool you. I wasn't the smartest kid. So I have a daughter now, Isabella, who is 6 years old. And my wife keeps on stressing. She's like, oh, is she going to do well? And I say, hey, take it easy, man. Take it easy. Life is not a sprint. It's a marathon, you know.
Your wife is worried, and
my wife,
your history.
My wife is type A. My wife is the opposite of me. So she was a straight A student all the way to the end, you know. And I was just like, I'm type, I'll not study, but I'll get an A in the exam. And people wonder what's going on. Did this guy cheat? You know, so, so in terms of failure, Lexis, you know, I think that is the best way of learning how to be successful. You know, failing at different things, you know, and there's not every exam that you score an A, you know, but the whole point is how you pick yourself up.
Yeah. From
there, to always keep on trying. You're like, oh, I didn't get, you know. I have a friend who when I met, or a colleague, when I met him, he had not finished JHS. He had dropped out, I think, at the first or second year. And he actually got admission to Pentecost University after about 5 times of writing the mature student exam.
I see.
That, for me, is dedication. You know, where you go, you get 40%. Next time, you get 43%. The whole point is that, are you on an upward trajectory or are you on a downward trajectory, you know?
So, at what point did acting come in?
Acting came in by accident. Yeah, it was by accident. I used to do acting in school, like stage plays and all that kind of stuff in the UK. And so I was in Canada, and my brother, Emmanuel, had come to co-create Taxi Driver with John Kay. And his next big thing he wanted to do was Home Sweet Home. And the person he had cast for the role of Junior dropped out about a month before shooting started. And together we talked about a Home Sweet Home type of show, you know, one that encapsulates everything, every family, everywhere, you know, because that's why It was a family show. Everyone has a family, whether you're aspiring to be that family or you know a family that's like that, you know. So Emmanuel called me up in Canada, quite frantic. He says, I've been doing a lot of auditions, but I'm not finding the character of Junior. You know all the lines. You were there when I was developing the whole idea, and I've seen you act. And Junior is a naughty boy. He's not doing well in school.
You fit the role.
Yeah, you fit the role. Just ask Lexus. I'm sure you would have fitted the role because you know we've got that naughtiness in common.
Hey,
you know?
wait, calm down. This is becoming a personal time now.
You know, so he called me that. Can you come? Can you just come and do 2 months in Ghana? Do 7 episodes for me. By the time you've done seven episodes, I would have found a replacement for you. But I've got the funding for this. I want to start. So I came, I did 7 episodes. Unfortunately, before I left, the first episode had dropped. And that night when I went to Frankie's, the reception I got, I was like, I'm not going back.
When you go there, was like,
when I go, yeah, all the girls I'd been trying to wave at before now were the one blowing kisses at me. So I was like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back here. So that's what made me stay a little longer. I was going to nightclubs now. I wasn't standing in the line.
Eish.
I was just whisked to the front.
Oh my God.
I was just like, what's
Superstar.
happening, man? I was feeling like
VIP.
VIP, man. I've not had that. I was used to being slapped most of the time, you know. Yeah. So so it was very accidental.
Okay.
Yeah, it was accidental, but it was a real gift.
Did it pay?
It paid well. Yeah, it paid well within that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it paid well. We weren't just the best. We didn't take care of our money as well as we should, because at that age you think money comes in forever, you know. So we didn't take care, and we didn't have a lot of what a lot of the creative artists have now, social media and all that kind of stuff, you know. So we made lots of mistakes, you know, in terms of how we take care of our money, how you build your brand, your persona, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things we took for granted.
If you had to do that part of life again, what do you think you will do again? Better.
What will I do better?
That part of life.
Lexus, is very hard to say because I'm one who doesn't really believe in regrets. I know it sounds all very cliched, you know, but I think most things for me are a building block, you know. And if I'd done some things differently then, I'll not have been able to do a lot of the things I did later on, because it being in that space showed me a lot about life. You know, how to value people, how to appreciate what you have, how to be respectful, how to be humble, you know. So those times, there's very little I could change.
So what brought it to an end?
I just recognized, I was looking at a lot of, what brought it to an end, in all honesty, is what you touched on earlier on, was that I was starting to look at the ecosystem and thinking, can I earn an income from this? Can I grow? Can I personally develop within this space? You know, because I think one thing that the creative art needs a lot of is policy. You know, we need help from the top, you know, to be able to put some structures in place. You know, like, you know, other countries, even if you're a filmmaker, there's movie theaters that you can go to go and watch films, you know, there's a structure. Here, we've not had a lot of the structure. For musicians, you know, you have the Billboard 100. You have, in UK, you used to have Top of the Pops and all those kind of stuff. You drop a single, you realize that 1 million have been sold. Out of that 1 million, maybe you're making 100,000 or 150,000. There's a particular structure. But you have top musicians here who are only making their money from singing at outdoorings, funerals, and weddings. The only time they get to make a block of money is when they travel out to go and do concerts, you know. So they are dropping a lot of which is their intellectual property, both as filmmakers, as singers, you know, as other creatives, but they are not getting the benefit out of that. So part of it made me jaded, but another part made me realize that I want to do more. You know, I want to do more in life beyond what I'm doing now. Yeah, so that's probably why I left.
So what did you do? You went back to the UK?
I went back to the UK.
Back to school?
I went back to school.
What did you study?
I did public policy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did public policy at Oxford University. And that's where I learned a lot about probably that was my first foray into technology. Because with what I did is public policy, but it had a bit of evaluation and statistics.
Okay.
You know, and so with that, I was able to understand how you're able to use technology in good ways to understand behavior, to be able to understand buying patterns, etc.
Your work at the Commonwealth Investment Council,
Enterprise and
Investment Council. I'm sure that opened you up to the investment ecosystem, especially in Africa, and all. What was the experience like?
Oh, the experience is still ongoing. In about 3 weeks, for instance, I'm in Kigali at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, where we have a Commonwealth Business Forum, where we're inviting a lot of business leaders who want to go and see the type of partnerships that they can have. eTranzact is one of the companies that is going there. We have lots of other big companies who are strategic partners of the Commonwealth who are going. But it's been an amazing ride because, you know, we have top companies from Africa. We have the Dangote Group, we have Zenith Group, we have the eTranzact Global within Africa, who are all part of this invitation-only club. At the same time, you have Rolls-Royce, you have Standard Chartered. These are all the global offices who have all been carefully selected, to be part of a club that promotes trade and investment across the Commonwealth. So it's a really dynamic place where you're being able to bring direct investment into Ghana to help companies who are struggling, to be able to partner with foreign companies to expand their business.
Well, what does the space look like for Ghana? Is Ghana still an attractive destination? I think the last time I looked at the Fitch report, we had an investment score of about 50.9%, which is really higher than the West African average. Is it looking like Ghana's
Ghana is always going to be an attractive destination. At the moment, as I always say, most economies across the world are having fiscal challenges, which a lot has to do with COVID. I mean, COVID time, when everyone was getting free electricity and free water, everyone was clapping, you know. But there's nothing like a free lunch.
Yeah.
You know, when you have those things, there's a point you have to pay. So even from the UK to Canada to Australia, everyone is having to tighten their belts. And I think investors around the world recognize that that is what is happening. But Ghana, for me, is a location that I'll always sell, because your return on investment is still very high. Most of the world has plateaued. We're still a very fast-growing economy. You know, we have a skilled workforce, you know, and we have a lot of untapped industries that are the envy of the world. So for me, if you ask, is Ghana a location to invest in? 100%. And we still have people. In the past month or so, I've had probably about 4 different companies. I've had 2 Australian companies, a Canadian company, a UK company, all coming to Ghana to invest. You know, so Ghana is still a very attractive place. You just need to know your way around.
Yeah.
Know the particular industries you want to invest in, and be able to see if you can get a good
And
return.
eTranzact looks to be in a good space as well, because of course everybody is adopting technological ways of doing things. We're now in the new normal. Everybody's adopting, you know, digital. So it makes your new job exciting. Tell us about the new job and the new company.
So the new job, eTranzact Ghana, was set up about 15, 16 years ago. Started off, as I said, in Nigeria, where it's publicly listed. And eTransact's main objective is to make life easier for everyone. Is to add value to the lives of people by creating digital products that are quick, but are secure and robust. And in my role as chief executive, my main objective is to find new areas that we can promote, and within Ghana, within the rest of the world. There's a lot of areas, a lot of blue ocean areas that we've not tapped into yet. And that's what I find very exciting about my job. I have a blank slate to be able to work with. Wow. I don't have a blank check, unfortunately, but I have a blank slate to work with. I have an amazing team to work with. I'm probably one of the oldest people in the team, you know, so we have a lot of Gen Z type of people, some of whom are doing our social media recording
Yes,
at the
yes,
moment for my
yes.
team, you know. So it's a very exciting time. And like I said, we want to tap into this fourth industrial revolution, the Internet of Things, which includes artificial intelligence, robotics, you know. It's at a very exciting time. Everything is going that route because we've realized now that we can all work differently. You know, you don't have to be always even in the office or working, you know.
Remote
we
working.
can remote working, you know.
Well, except you work with Tesla.
Except you work with Tesla. Definitely.
Anyway,
So
lots
it's
of
very
messages
exciting.
are coming through. Let me read some of the messages coming in. You can, if you're listening to us, you can actually send us a WhatsApp on 055-111-1997. I'm spending time with CEO of eTranzact, John Apea, here on Personality Profile. Kofi in Teman says, Lexus, please tell my brother that I'm going to Enum tomorrow. I would like to go with him if he hasn't been there before. Why Enum people they like UK like that? Is there a reason why Enum people they like UK like that?
Really, I haven't met so many of them.
Okay. Francis in Jumako Techiman says, your guest is a real genius. I'm glad he wants to go back to help his former school, Anumle. A real role model. God bless him and thank him for the inspiration. Good stuff. Thank you so much for your message there. Anyway, I think life has taught you a lot of lessons. What's the biggest lesson?
The biggest lesson is not to be full of yourself for me. And the biggest lesson is to realize that, for me personally, that God is the center of everything. You know, the things, Lexis, that I've tried the most with my own strength, I've usually not yielded much.
Yeah.
You know, the things that I've realized that I should just do my best and be at the best place and work like I'm working for God. Those are the things that have opened the greatest opportunities for me. So for me, if you're to ask me to encapsulate everything I know in one, is just that, you know, don't be full of yourself. You know, realize where you end up and do the best that you can do for your country, for your continent, and for the world when you have strength.
What would you say is your proudest moment?
My proudest moment. I think my proudest moment was when my daughter was born.
Ah.
Yeah, that was my proudest moment, you know, because
Tell me about it.
yeah, well, I was married for a while, and you know, the children were not coming.
Yeah.
You know,
For how long?
For 7 years.
For 7 years.
Yeah, for 7 years. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, for 7 years. So
How was that period?
how was that period? It was very stressful, you know, because you're skipping a lot of Father's Day events, especially at church, you know. Yeah, because you know people will come up to you. Sometimes, you know, people are so insensitive, you know. So every Father's Day they'll come up and you're there and they will come and say, "Be why?"
Wow.
you know, and you know those kind of, you know. So some people were being nice,
Yes.
but it just used to make you feel, you know, like you're not capable of something,
Yeah.
you know. So it was a really tough time for myself and my wife in terms of being able to say that, hey, you know, we
How
are
did
who
you
we
put
are.
it together?
I
through
don't know.
all those?
Like I was saying, Lexis, the things I've used my strength for, nothing has ever happened. You know, so you just don't put it together. You just
Yeah.
carry on doing the best that you can. You know, working hard and believing in God that one day the desire of your heart will be met. You know, so yeah. So I think her coming and she was a girl. My first one was a girl.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I was like, oh God, is this some karma or something? You know, yeah.
It's
You
that's
know,
what they always
it's like,
say, huh? Bad
yeah,
boys always get the girls.
Exactly. You have girls yourself.
Yes, I'm a girl too.
Yeah.
So,
So I like when you say bad
When
boys
they
always
say
get the
we-
girls. Yeah. So when she came, because we didn't want to find out whether
Yeah.
she was a boy or girl
Yeah.
until she came out.
you didn't want to find
I
out.
didn't want to, and I was convinced that it was a boy. So I had the name Isaiah. You know.
wow.
So until they pulled her out, then I looked down there and I saw something vertical.
It's like, oh,
I was like,
Isabella.
oh man. You know, so
Wow.
she's called Isabella because it's still I still had to keep a bit of the
Isaiah
Isaiah
in
there.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it
Congratulations.
was a very beautiful moment.
I'm so happy for you, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy. I
And
mean-
just in case my son Isaiah is listening, he's in England.
Oh,
But
okay.
you
So
know,
you have
there's
a
a
son
lot of.
too.
I have a son. So after Isabella, a year after, you know, they said it's a bit like UK buses. They don't come. When they come, they all come at
They
a
all go
bunch.
at the
Yeah.
same time, yeah?
So now I had to run
There you
away
go.
from my wife, you know, because I didn't want.
So you
I
have
can't
two.
afford school fees as much, you know.
Look
So
at
I have
that.
two. So I have Isabella. And then Isaiah, who came a year later.
Okay.
So I'm sure they're listening to this. And when I mention Isabella,
You
and I don't
definitely
mention
need to, of
Isaiah,
course, yeah.
you know.
How old are
later,
they?
So Isabella is 6. 6 going on 18. She's very impatient. You know, yeah. So she's 6. Isaiah is 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
wonderful.
What about yours, Lexis? How old are yours?
Oh, very
Very young as well.
Yes. Very young.
They're a real delight when they're
They
that
are
age.
absolutely.
Yeah,
They're so
yeah.
cute and gorgeous.
They
It makes
are.
you so fulfilled and happy.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It
So
does.
I really know exactly how you
know
feel.
that feeling.
I
Yeah.
know how you feel.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I've
Thank you.
totally enjoyed your company.
Thank you.
And I need to say thank you so much. God bless you. We've enjoyed spending time with you, and good luck with the new role. I know it's going to be good. You're going to bring the power and the fire to the team, and you will achieve great things.
Lexis, thank you for being a good friend. And thank you for being a star. Yeah,
Always.
Thank you very much.
John Apea, CEO of eTranzact Ghana, on Personality Profile. I'm Lexus Bill. Thank you so much for spending time with us. The video for this conversation is live on our Facebook. So if you missed any part of it, you can actually go and play it back and share it, and you'll be inspired if you watched it again. Thank you so much. Uncle Ken will be on your radio very shortly. I'm Lexus Bill. Good night.